Hey, good evening, Mental Health Warriors. Everybody's having a great and wonderful week. I'm going to do a quick introduction, and then Lynn's going to jump on and tell us quickly about her New Year's resolution and then about her birthday because then she has to get off because she has to take a phone call for work, and so that's okay. But with that, we have the QR code up there in the upper left-hand corner for Reads Across America, and you guys know I talk about this all the time. You can donate as little as $5, $10 to ensure that those wreaths are placed on those veterans' tombstones to memorialize them during the holiday season. Of course, you have 10th Mountain Bourbon and Whiskey up there. You can search them. We'll post a link later in the show to their website where you can order your bourbon. Just make sure that you have somebody over the age of 21 when they're home, and they'll let you know if they can deliver to your state. And of course, you have Veterans Mortgage there on the lower left. You can scan over that. Mortgage rates may come down, so you might want to look into refinancing. And along with that, if you get a PCS to Paradise and find a new place to live, you want to get that mortgage taken care of first and get that pre-approval letter because I know in Virginia you have to be pre-approved in order to go buy a house. So anyway, with that, Lynn, happy birthday, late birthday, and tell us all about it because I know you got to go in about 10 minutes. So
So I turned the big 41. The funny thing is now that I'm past my 40s, I feel like I need reading glasses now. But look, I noticed that you put the AI photo that was made on your background.
yeah, I like it. How you like that? You like that? You'll
Yeah,
have to make some. You'll have to make some new ones.
I do need to make some new ones. And I kept telling the AI, I said, this is what I told the AI: create a photo with two people sitting down at a podcast. One is an older white bald gentleman with no
But I'm
tattoos.
not bald. I'm not bald. See,
I
I'm
know,
not
but
bald.
okay, yeah, you're not. You're right.
Okay, verify. Look, I'm
You're
not bald. I got
not.
hair.
My bad.
It's short, but
And
I'm
then
not bald.
I said one, and then the other one make her Pacific Islander or Hawaiian Filipino with tattoos,
Yeah.
and they just kept putting tattoos on you the entire time.
Yeah, it's okay. I have tattoos on my back, so it works out.
So my birthday comes right after New Year's. So it's
Mhm.
literally 6 days. January 6th is my birthday. Thank you, Brian. He said happy birthday. 41. For New Year's, I wanted to tell you that I saw this really cool drone show. So it was out in
Mm.
Orlando. They did some drone show instead of fireworks. I guess because the venue that I was at had like a tiki hut grass bar type thing where they couldn't do fireworks because it would have been a fire hazard.
Mm.
So instead, they opted for a cool drone
They
show.
they do some cool stuff with drones
Oh
nowadays
my
with the
goodness! So
fireworks.
they
It's
made like
amazing.
different shapes. They did like people. They wrote out Happy New Year, and it was really cool. Like they did a whole Christmas tree. Um,
Wow.
there was all kinds of different shapes that they did, and like it was so funny because every time we saw the shape, we would clap. And um, so yeah. Oh, okay. So my New Year's resolution, I think I had two. So, New Year, new me, right? Most people,
Yeah.
obviously, after the holidays, you spend time eating with family from Thursday through New Year's. But that wasn't my resolution. My resolution wasn't the weight thing. My resolution
Oh,
is it's called No New Buy 2025.
okay.
So what that means for me, like, and I guess there's a lot of people who's always also on this trend, and I found this out through TikTok. Hopefully they don't take TikTok away, but that's another that's another issue. So for me, no new buy 2025 means don't buy anything new, like no new clothes, no new shoes. Like if I don't need it, I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, it's just so hard. Like when you have your shopping right at your fingertips. There's Amazon,
Mhm.
and then for females, there's Shein, there's Temu, there's TikTok Shop. Like there's all these different outlets, and every time I go online, there's an ad. Like, and AI is so good at generating marketing ads. Like everything that I
Yeah.
love is coming up on my phone, and it's such a great deal. So I am not buying anything new, and that's
Well,
really good because if
that's a
you go
good
on,
that's a good resolution to have. I like
well,
that.
yeah, I think so. But especially for me, like I travel a lot and I go on like cruises or vacations, or I go to different places, and then every time I want to buy new outfits. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. I'm going on a cruise. Let me try a new outfit. Well, I figured out that I have everything. I don't need to buy anything new. It's
Well,
so
that's good.
doing
Yeah,
good.
that's one thing I've learned, here in Italy is once you learn about the Italian culture is, they're really a lot of them are really minimalist here. I mean,
Yeah,
they live very simple and they're very happy, but they spend money on important things like, vacation and going out eating dinner and enjoying life. And it's making me really question whether or not I need my big 5,000 square foot 4 car garage. Well, I need 4 car
right.
garage. But do I need a house really that big moving forward? I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, then you got to clean the whole big house and all that. But so I even like I was getting my hair done and I sent you the video on my birthday. Literally, my hair is so I don't have my hair's not long anymore. It used to be down to my hips, but it doesn't matter. Even still, I have very thick hair, so it takes all day long to color it. I got a full head of color.
Yep.
And so I was telling my sister because my sister's the
Me too.
hairstylist
It takes me all day to do my hair. See, I have it.
and her friend Maddie, they were both working on my hair. And they're like, "Well, what if you go to a costume party or like a themed party? Because you go to those all the time, which I do." I said, "Well,
Yeah.
name a costume or name a theme. I guarantee you, I have it." And so they went off a list of different things, like very weird thing, like 80s. Of course, I have 80s costumes.
Sure.
Tropical costumes, whatever it was, you name it. I was like, I told them exactly like what I could use in my own closet to be able to cater to that theme. So now it's been difficult for me because I'm going on Groove Cruise.
Hmm.
So Groove Cruise is like a rave out to sea. So shout out to those who like EDM music, electric dance music. So if you ever been to EDC or something like that, there's themes every single day. Every single day
Wow.
there's themes. So one day is
How
like
many
only
days of the cruise?
fun. What's that?
How many days of the cruise?
So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come back Monday.
5 days. Wow.
Yeah. So every
So
single
five
day
different
there's a
themes.
day theme and there's a night theme.
No,
And
get out.
I'm like every day I'm like, I want to buy something new. So I think that was my main resolution. I don't have another resolution besides the fact that since my birthday, after my birthday, I've been doing a detox cleanse, so no drinking. I've been sober since.
Yeah.
A 15-day detox thing, and that's going good too.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I was, well, of course, it's going to come out. I think on Thursday, I posted a funny meme about dry January, and the wife's telling the husband, "I thought it was going to be dry January for you," and he says, "Yeah, but this is a Cabernet Sauvignon, so it's dry, so it
What?
counts."
My sister is doing the dry January. She did that soon as after New Year's, so she's been doing really well on that
Well,
too. I think
good.
a lot of people do that. I mean, just to get back on track, especially after the holidays. So
Yeah, I mean, for me, I normally have a drink or two at night. I've only had 2 drinks since our last podcast, and that's all. I mean, 2 drinks, period. I mean, so I've gone many days without drinking. But I go through phases like that. There's sometimes I like to have a drink at night, and sometimes I just because I snack, and then once I start gaining weight, then I stop drinking. So then I don't snack because I get hungry when I drink.
yeah.
And when you get as young as I am, you have to watch out for that because it's harder to lose weight. Of course, my birthday's coming up January 24th, so yay!
Oh, yay. We're all January babies. Matter of fact, it's my son's 19th birthday today.
Oh, yep, happy birthday! I
His
think I wished him
birthday.
happy birthday on Facebook. So
Chris's is the 23rd. So
no,
that's
that's
next
right.
week.
I knew Chris. I thought Chris was close. And then, of course, Junior's is January 5th. My son, and
Right.
then
That's the day
my
before mine.
older brother, his birthday's tomorrow, January 15th.
Wow. Look at us, Capricorns. We're
Yeah,
cool. We're not.
Capricorns
No.
and Aquariuses.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the update on me. Like, I think that's super awesome trying to do this no new buy thing because so far I've saved so much money. You have no idea. Oh, another one is like not to go out to bars so much.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
spend a lot of money doing that.
exactly. So I've been doing great, especially the no drinking thing or the 15-day detox thing. So,
Yeah. Well, and you start feeling better, right? You don't realize how
yeah.
much, like having that drink at night or doing that, how much it affects your sleep. And I really noticed that, especially with my sleep. I sleep a lot better, and I feel better. But my eyes get puffy when I drink. I notice that, and then when I
Yeah.
don't drink, it goes back down.
Yeah.
But
You
that's
retain
just
a
a
lot of like
genetic.
water weight, so.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So
about to be 5:15, so I'm gonna hop off real quick, and if I can, I'll join y'all back on and talk
okay.
about the things.
Yeah. Well, we all have our second job. So okay, Lynn. Thanks for tuning
All right,
in. We'll see you later if you get a chance.
be
And
right
if
back.
not, we'll see you next week. Show's going to be next Tuesday. So we just our schedules are conflicting. So we'll see you next week. But I hope you can get back on, Lynn.
I hope so. All right.
All right. See you later. All right, mental health warriors. That was a big update from Lynn, and she had a great birthday. She turned 41, and I think I remember what it's like to be 41. Huh. So this year, on January 24th, I turned double nickel. So I'm super happy about that. I'm excited. To me, age is nothing but a number. I'm a big kid at heart, so I do a lot of silly things. I'm going skiing again. I went skiing for the first time a couple weeks ago. Me and Lloyd's going to hit the slopes again. Super excited about that. Not real good at it, but it's a lot of fun. So hey, Alan, how's it going? Before I jump into a lot of things I want to talk about tonight, and it'll probably change up, I want to say my thoughts and prayers are out to everybody affected by the fires out in California, out in Los Angeles. It's really sad to hear that they're starting to arrest arsonists that are starting those fires all over Los Angeles. I don't understand that. But my thoughts and prayers to everybody out there that has lost their homes or lost everything with them. I kind of, I was a small kid, and our house actually blew up. We wasn't at home. We had a gas leak, and the house blew up, and we lost almost everything. And so I was small, but I don't even remember it. But I do know that, as far as me as a baby and a small child, we don't have any photos because they're all burned up. Of course, that was before cell phones and all that other stuff. So I kind of know what that's like to go through, and kind of the shock that it has, both on the parents, but also on the children themselves. So please keep everybody out there in their thoughts and minds and prayers, and all the firemen, the National Guard, and everybody out there who is fighting that or protecting. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. As I understand how that goes, we got a lot of stuff going on in January. We got the inauguration coming up January 20th. We're starting with the confirmation hearings. So I don't know if you watched them; they were kind of funny to watch. Peter Hudsmith and his answers. And I hope that he does get confirmed. I think he'll be good for the military. Along with out there, I was reading the news earlier today, and I don't know if anybody saw it about the. I should have sent the link. I apologize for that. I'll try to throw it up on Facebook. But the Supreme Court ruled, and I didn't read all of it, but basically there's about 1.2 million veterans that could affect where you could have your GI Bill benefits post 9/11 expanded for another 12 months. It was ruling just come out a couple of days ago with the Supreme Court. And so if that sounds something that you're messing with or dealing with, or may possibly get extended for 12 months, I'm sure you can Google that and it'll come up, but it's the ruling for the VA, and it's the extension of the VA benefits for the Montgomery GI Bill. So look into that. I didn't read all of it, and that was earlier today. But hey, if you're a veteran and you're getting your benefits, as you should, if you haven't, please file for your benefits. You deserve it. But hey, look into that, because if you're like me, I have my oldest son in school, and his benefits are going to run out, so it may help to expand him to finish out his college years. And so please look into that. It's something you can Google, very easy to find. There's a lot of things going on, with January, and kind of how January can be kind of a letdown month. And I want to jump into that. But, I found a couple of conspiracy theories, and I wanted to talk about one, but I came across this video, and I have to apologize to Chris. He hates it when I send him stuff on the same day to post. But literally, when I sent him this video, I had just saw it on the internet. I know you guys have probably seen this come around, but this is probably. Hey, Chris, do we have the video? Were you able to get it up? Yeah. So, I echo. Watch the video, and then I'm going to talk to it afterwards.
Look, there's a fucking truck in it. There's a fucking truck. It just flipped over. It's spinning on its side. Landed on its fucking wheels. And it drove the fuck off. That's the best Chevrolet commercial ever. Oh my God, ride the fucking run. Oh my God.
So if you haven't seen that, it's on. If you haven't seen that out there, it's probably been around for a while. But it was a tornado going across the highway. It flips over a Chevy pickup truck. It rolls over, back up on its wheels, and the guy drives off. I mean, that's probably like the most American Chevy truck commercial video, whatever you could have. And I saw that, and I just laughed so hard. I was like, man, I got to show that tonight because that's pretty awesome. That's pretty funny, actually. And it's really very lucky. I grew up in Tornado Alley, so I know how powerful those tornadoes can be, and the fact that he just didn't get continually drugged with that tornado down at whatever path it was going or picked up. And I've seen tornadoes pick up cement trucks and throw them like they were toy trucks. It's pretty scary. Those tornadoes can be. And of course, spring's right around the corner, so that could pop back up again. But one thing else I want to talk about, and this is kind of interesting. I'm gonna read this part because it wasn't a video. And give me a second because I'm gonna find it on my phone. And oh, by the way, if you guys see me look down on my phone, it's usually because I'm answering messages on the different social medias. I do it on my phone. I said that before, so I'm not being rude or anything like that. I'm just trying to answer all the questions. And so, hi to everybody that's signed in tonight. Thanks for tuning in. So, on this one thing, I'm going to get you guys figure out you guys' opinion on this. Let me find it here real quick. You always have stuff ready when you come. So I'm going to watch the video and then I'm going to read. So in this premise, it's yes, let me pause it. So have you known anybody in your lifetime that has not broken a single bone in their body? And what the premise of that is that it has a specific meaning. And I'm going to read each step of the meaning here. As soon as I get this video to pause, it's not wanting to participate with me. Okay. So the theory states, I want to put my glasses on so I can read this correctly. That's true, Brian. A Ford never would have rolled over. I'm a Ford guy. But yeah, it never would have rolled over. And my Mustang would have just blown right through with the Green Goblin. So, okay. So I'm going to jump into theories about if you've known somebody that's never broken a bone in their body. Okay, so there are multiple theories about people that's never broke a bone in their life. The four theories are protection, suffering, reincarnation, and connection. And so I'm going to read about each one of those. Hang on a sec. Okay, suffering. This theory states that one does not break a bone in his life because they are going to suffer emotionally rather than physically. To even the scales, they are given stronger frames to bear their emotional suffering. That's kind of interesting. The second one, hang on, it's going to come up and then I'll pause it. The second one is protection, and I found this one really interesting. This theory means that you are being protected by people in the spirit realm. Depending upon what you believe, this could be a spirit guide, angel, or a loved one who has passed, protecting you from the other side. That's kind of interesting because if you think about, like I've been through 6 near-death experiences, one by my own hand, but 5 others, not where I didn't think I would see the sun tomorrow, but somehow I came out of that, or it didn't occur when it really should have occurred. And so this one really got me thinking about the protection one. And then I'm going to read the other 2 here in a second. It's going to pop up. But I just found this pretty interesting. And so the second one gives a Bible verse, and it says the Bible Psalm 34:19 through 20 states hang on a second. Okay. States the righteous may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers them from all. He protects all of his bones, not one of them will be broken. Interesting. And so then I'm going to read the last one. And then I want you guys to get your thoughts on this. Feel free to throw them in the comment section. Reincarnation. It could be symbolically indicates that your soul has developed a strong spiritual bones through past lives. You may have already faced and overcome challenges that taught you resilience, making the need for physical injuries less relevant in your life. I found that very interesting because if you think about I forget, there was a movie with Bruce Willis and I think it was Samuel Jackson, about Samuel Jackson was always broke every bone, unbreakable. It kind of goes along. I was kind of thinking about that. Um, and so, one thing they talk about is in a lot of cultures too, going back to the never breaking a bone, is they also think it's a lot of cultures find it to be sacred and also linked to ancestral wisdom. To never break a bone could signify that you are deeply connected to your ancestors and that your strength throws through you. So that's pretty interesting. It's something you can find out on the internet. I shared it out on my social media. But I'd like to get your thoughts and comments about it. Do you know somebody that has gone through their whole life and not broke a bone? Come to think of it, I don't think my father ever broke a bone, or I never remember him having broken bones. And so that's kind of interesting. So hey, give me your thoughts and what you think about that. Give me your 2 cents about that. It's kind of interesting. If you come up with your own kind of theories or something you want to talk about, throw in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to talk about it. But it is interesting. You see all kinds of things happening on the internet, right? And you guys notice I'm wearing, quit being a trigger panty shirt today. And I'm wearing that for myself. Because, sometimes you can allow things to trigger you that shouldn't trigger you. And so for me, sometimes my health, I'm very healthy. You guys know that I work out a lot. But sometimes I get in my mind, my mind will convince me something's going on with my body when it's not. And it takes me down a path of pure ugliness sometimes. And it takes me down a path of a lot of pain. It takes me down a path of depression. And I think for anybody out there who kind of understands what I'm talking about, I think as you get older, I think this becomes more prevalent maybe, or maybe it has something to do with my TBI or whatever. But it's something that sometimes I can control very well. It's sometimes I can, keep my thoughts at bay and just keep those, silly thoughts running into your head, from constantly coming in and affecting my life. But sometimes I can't do that. And sometimes it just takes me down a very ugly path. And, and I'll tell you what happened to me. So I was having kind of like an upset stomach or something. And, it's probably just a normal, like, I don't know, stomach virus or something. But then I was kind of having pains in my abdominals, and which I don't normally have pains unless, it's from working out. And so I didn't go to the doctor for a while. And, I was I had all these crazy thoughts going through my head. And, it drove me to go to the ER here on the base Italy. And the doctor just pushed on my stomach and said, yeah, your intestines are probably inflamed and upset because of what stomach issues you have and what's going on. And it's not that I felt silly, because if you feel like something's wrong with you, you should always go and get yourself checked out. Absolutely. 1000%. But if I didn't go to that emergency room, right, and get myself checked out, I'm leaving on Thursday to go back up to Bazzano, which is about 7 hours north of here, train ride to go skiing for a couple of days. And my ski trip would have been absolutely ruined, because my mind would have taken me down an ugly road and I wouldn't have been able to enjoy. And so, going to the doctor and getting checked out and making sure everything's okay when everything was already okay. And that may not be the best example, but I think everybody listening is trying to will understand what I'm trying to say, is that, sometimes your mind will convince you something's wrong when in reality there's nothing wrong. And that can be with mental health, that can be with anything. And not just physical pain, but it can be with mental pain. That your mind can take you down an ugly road of, where there's something wrong with you. There's, that's why somebody doesn't like you, or that's why always bad things are happening to you, or, it can just constantly take you in that cycle. And I think, one of the things I want to talk about is, the January funk. Because you're coming off all the holidays, you got November, December, and then you kind of got the gray period of January, where maybe it's snowing more cold weather. And so your mind can trick you and have you go down certain roads. And just like Lynn was talking about earlier, where she's, kind of detoxed herself and kind of got, quit drinking some. and set a couple of small New Year's resolutions, maybe not buying new things or doing other stuff. But so, hey, Lynn, I was just talking about you, and so I was just talking about your New Year's resolution. I'm kind of in a deep subject right here, and you catch up in a second.
Yeah.
But it's I'm talking about my mind and how my mind took me down a road of anxiety and thinking there was something
Hmm.
more physically wrong with me than what was. And you're in January and you're kind of having these, the days are getting a little bit longer, but it still gets dark earlier. And it's yes, your mind will catastrophize things, and so you have to learn how to not have that happen. And I like to say, sometimes I'm very good at that, and sometimes I'm not very good at that. And you just have to know that that's okay when your mind takes you down, a road, and then you realize that you never should have went down that road, and then you just try to learn from it, because it can be very debilitating, if you allow that to continue. You can become a hypochondriac. You can always think something's wrong. You can always think there's no self worth, and so it's really important to try to stop that way of thinking, if you can. And so I've talked about January, and I think it's important to talk about ways to try to improve your mental health, to do something different, to look at it, differently. And so, Lynn, I was talking about your New Year's resolution, how you have decided to detox and maybe not drink. And so maybe, something to make your mental health a little bit better is maybe drink, a little bit less, or maybe go outside more when the sun's shining and enjoy the weather. But Lynn, I think you've kind of can sympathize to that too. Is your mind and anxiety can take you down past that it
Oh,
shouldn't even take you down, but and then it's hard to stop that.
when once you get to spiraling, it's hard to stop it, especially like if you have substances involved. Say if
Hmm.
you've been drinking and then the next day, like you get that anxiety, right? So a long hard night of drinking, like partying and all that stuff, and the next day you just feel like doo doo, and then all of a sudden you have that feeling of anxiety. Like I get that sometimes, and I know a
Yeah,
lot of people get that sometimes, and because alcohol is a depressant, right? It's a depressant, and so you feel anxious and you have that anxiety, and then like you get really paranoid and you feel like I feel like, oh dang, what did I do? I'm not that good enough. And then like this one thought leads to another thought, it leads to another, and like you just spiral down this path, and like it's hard to get out of there. So, trying to get yourself out of that whole spiralness is one thing also. So it definitely takes a lot of strength and a lot of mental capacity to do that. Just self-awareness to know that it's temporary, and get out there and change your environment.
well, and that's a good point. And I think for veterans, it gets harder too, right? I mean, so we've all had different experiences, and you may have PTSD issues and other things like that, and it's hard. I mean, or MST or other issues, and so to try and stop that, and like you bring up a good point, and I talk about it many times, is change your environment. I talk about, if you're sitting in a dark room and you're listening to music and you're kind of going down that path, get up and leave the room. Turn the
Hmm.
lights on and go do something else. I mean, if you went out, and there's nothing wrong with going out and partying and having fun and being hungover, but if it's getting too much, or if you're finding yourself a little bit, more depressed the next day, or not feeling like you should, then maybe drink less, or I don't know, try to do a little bit more in moderation. It's kind of hard to do when you're having fun, but there's just so many different ways out there that you can, try to help and try to improve yourself. And I think for a lot of people, they think they have to do something big and something major. And I talk about this a lot, especially in January, is just do something small. I mean, so if you normally go out with friends, and let's say you have, I
Yeah.
don't know, 5 drinks, and usually by the fifth one, you're pretty buzzed, or, whatever, try having 4 drinks, or cut it down to 3, or drinks a little bit slower. I mean, there's some things you can do and still enjoy being with your friends and hanging out. Of course, you don't have to drink, but I'm just saying, just in general, just try to drink a little bit less, or drink a little bit more water, or, there's ways to regulate it. I'm not saying anything that people don't already know, but sometimes we just forget that, right?
like me, I'm trying to get back into stretching and get back into yoga. So I'm just doing a little bit here and there here at the house. I'm not like trying to dive right in and then like hurt my body.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not 20 anymore. I'm 41 now.
Yeah.
So little by little, I got to take little baby steps. And so that's called SMART goals. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a whole acronym, as military, we love acronyms. So SMART, S stands for specific, have a specific goal. M is measurable, like make it measurable. So from what time to what, from this time, or measure it. Like today I did 3 steps and then tomorrow I'll do 5 steps type thing.
Yeah.
A is achievable. So don't make some drastic goal where I'm going to run a whole mile tomorrow, like do a block at a time. So like you said, don't make it a drastic thing, like 5
Yeah. Go
drinks.
walk for 15 minutes or something,
Right.
do
Make it
something.
relevant. Don't say I'm going to be the king of the world.
Right.
Make it relevant to your life. And then T, time bound. So put a time to it. So in a matter of a week, maybe I can do 10 minutes of yoga without stopping,
Yeah.
or things like that. Or in a matter of a month, I should be able to do a whole 30 minutes of yoga nonstop, or whatever it is. Just like my detox things, 2 weeks. It's 15 days. So that's my whole goal is to make it the whole 15 days, and then every day is a different day.
Well,
But yeah,
and it
so
gets
that's the
easier with
SMART
each
goals.
day too. You just break the habit.
Right. Yeah. It takes 21 days to form a habit.
Yeah.
So it takes that long to, you just got to take it day by day.
You take it day. Yeah, that's
Day
true. You
by
do. And
day, because
sometimes,
every day you might want to quit, and it's like,
yeah,
it's so easy to go back to what you know, and to like go back to a routine, but to change something, it's definitely a lot harder, because even though we're used to change, we are resistant to change.
yes.
So
Yes, that's a great point. And it's something that Of course, you talk about living with your injuries. You used to be a marathoner. You used to run a lot. Of course, you just can't physically do that now. And I know if you could, you go do it in 2 seconds.
I would
But you
love
find ways to work around it, and find
to.
ways to do other forms of exercise. And I think for a lot of people, if there's something that you really enjoy that you can't do anymore, find something else. There's many other different forms of exercise and different things you can do, and still be able to get out and enjoy and do something. If you can't run anymore, well, maybe you can bike now, or maybe you can, I don't know, go walking or something. I mean, there's different things you can do. Go on cruises. I mean.
Right. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I ran into our friend Chris, the one that does the yoga. I ran into
Oh, yeah.
during, it was either my birthday weekend or New Year's. It was New Year's, like the weekend after that. I ran into them.
Yeah, I've been texting Chris tonight actually on
Mhm.
Instagram, because we're talking about maybe partnering together for some things. But he hit, I think he's over 600,000 followers now on Instagram,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
625,000. So since our podcast, he's increased like 100,000 followers. So I
And he
congratulated him on that.
looks so much better too. Like he's
Does he
walking.
look better? I was going to ask
Yeah,
you that.
I mean, he still has a cane or whatnot, but he's doing great. And we had a small chat about what you guys are planning. So
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. But I'm happy that Chris is getting better. If you guys, in season 4, it was about a month ago. He was on a podcast. He was going to be on it, then he canceled because there was a horrible car accident, and
yeah,
he could have very easily died in that car accident. I mean, he was really messed up, and then he came on the podcast and talked about his struggles, in trying to recover again. And that's hard to do. I mean, when and I talked about this, right? We had a whole show about relapses, and how hard it is if it's something you may relapse because of something you did, or like Chris, he got re-injured by an accident that was no fault of his, but now he's dealing with injuries that he had to deal with 15 years ago. He's got to deal with it again, but they're much worse now. And so, but he's keeping that positive mindset and just trying to keep moving forward each day. But I know it was a struggle for him, the last couple of weeks, and he's gone through some bouts of depression, as anybody would. And I know, especially for you, Lynn, that some days it's easy, right? Some days you can fight through anxiety and be okay. And some days you just can't shake it, and you no matter what you do, you just can't get it off of you.
Yeah, I agree, but always trying to keep a positive track, Try to
Well,
change the environment all the time. That's why I'm going on this rave cruise. There's
yeah,
so these DJs is gonna be Eric Prydz, Medusa, James Hype, Seven Lions, all kinds of different like subgenres of EDM. So there's techno, there's
nice.
house, there's dubstep. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna be a grandma and I'm still gonna be raving. I don't care.
That's right. Right. Hey, you know what? You got to enjoy life the way you enjoy life, right? I think for a lot of people, it's just like the motto for the mental health warrior this season, right? Just do you, right? Don't worry about anything else. Just do you, and whatever makes you happy, go and do it.
Chris
And
says he
I
wants to
think
see Timmy trumpets once. Cool.
that's right.
Go do it.
Well, because I want to be the person, and that I want to be on my deathbed, and I'm not going to tell people I wish I would have done this. I'm going to tell people, hey, I went and did this. You know,
Right, exactly. My
Mm.
sister sent me an Instagram or some reels or something of it was a movie and this lady she was turning 50 and then she like was gonna blow out her candles and then she started crying. She said, I wanted to do this and I wanted to go to Paris, but I never got a chance to and I wish I did. And thankfully for me, hopefully I won't have those regrets because I live every day to the fullest, as you
Yeah,
guys
well,
can
you
see.
have to, right?
Hmm.
Because tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Yeah,
Sadly, it's not.
exactly. Unfortunately, I have so I have a friend. She works. She harvests organs for a living. So when for people who donate their organs after they pass, she
Yeah,
said that after New Year's was one of her busiest times. She said not a lot of people made it, past New Year. They didn't make it too far.
yeah,
So go hard, but don't go that hard, guys.
yeah, yeah. Scale it back a little bit.
you know. But yeah, you never know when it's your last day. So that really put things in perspective. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And it's just her job is crazy alone. Like, how do you do that for a living? I've asked her some ghost stories, and she tells me some stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad, and I want to give a shout out to my older brother. Today would have been they were married in 1989, but his wife, passed away earlier this year. And I was texting him earlier today, so this is his first anniversary without his wife. But he's staying busy and keeping focused on that. He lost her to cancer, but she gave a good hard battle. So thought out to my brother Chris, love you, Chris, and you're always in my thoughts and prayers. And he's doing really good as well as he expected. And one thing I like about him is he's not, and Chris Giselle would never want him to. Not get back out in life and not start back out enjoying. So he is going out and hanging out with friends. I think he's flying to Boston this weekend to meet up with some friends of theirs. So I'm really happy he's getting out and doing stuff like that because it's hard, it's tough, and he didn't want to sit at home by himself, and he shouldn't feel guilty about wanting to go out and
right,
and be around friends during this time, and so it's got to be hard. I mean, they were married over 30 years, so
yeah, 36 years. It would have been 36 years.
yeah, 36 years, yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
sad.
remember I was at Fort Eustis going through training for aircraft armament repair in 1989. And of course, their wedding was January 14th, and I was in school, and they wouldn't let me fly back for the wedding. Uh, the company
Ah,
man just being a jackass, so he
mhm.
wouldn't let me take leave to come back for the wedding. So I missed the wedding, but that's all right. But yeah, 1989. That's a long time ago.
I was how old was I? 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 years old.
You were
3 years
3 years
old.
old, and I was I was
84, 85, 86,
what was
87,
I? 18. I was 18.
wait, I can't do math. Hold on. 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. 5. I was 5 years
Okay.
old.
So you were so you were born in wow, okay.
84.
84. That's the year my older brother graduated high school, was 84, and I graduated in 88.
Yeah. Chris says he's 3. Chris the baker. He was 3.
Chris is 3.
Us
Oh well.
millennials unite. Woohoo.
What was it? What was it? The joke somebody said, "Oh, you got to be 21 to buy liquor," and he says, "Yeah, I was born in 2001." And the lady's like,
He says Zen, you'll get it right. Oh
"All
my
right,
gosh. When I would go into the bars, I'd be like, they still ask me for my ID. I was like, look, it has a 19 there. You don't even have to check anymore.
yeah, that's right, right."
1900s, okay?
But
I
that's
was born
good. They
in
still ask. I never get asked. So, because in
19.
Italy, you just got to be 14 to order a drink here. So,
Yeah,
it's my beard. If I shave my beard, I look a lot younger. But I'm not
maybe.
going to do that.
I think we'll go with the beard. We'll go with that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, give me something here. But hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Lynn, thanks for jumping back on. Quick note that we'll be back on next Tuesday because I'll be out of town. Of course, Monday's a holiday, and so we'll be on Tuesday. I'm not sure what time. We may start a little bit earlier because Chris has some prior commitments. So next week, the mental health more may be on around 5 or a little bit sooner. Um, Brian says his first truck was an '88. So was it a classic then, Brian, when you got it? But hey, with that, you got the QR code. I forgot to mention at the beginning, and I'm going to mention it here in a second. But you got the QR code for Wreaths Across America, for the wreaths to ensure that the wreaths are placed on the veterans, tombstone during the memorial season. But along with that, Wreaths Across America Radio, we plays my podcast at Fridays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. Super easy to find. Just download the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, or the Odyssey app, and search for Wreaths Across America Radio for not only our great podcast, but also for all the great podcasts and all the great music they play. Along with that, you got 10th Mountain Bourbon Whiskey. And of course, you have, Veterans to Mortgage. It's very important. We talked about saving money, and Lynn talked about, going out and buying new stuff, but maybe it's time to refinance your house, or maybe it's time to, go buy another home or go look for that vacation home in Italy. They're here. You can find them. I've been watching YouTube videos on restoring old castles. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But scan that QR code. They'd be more than happy to help with that. And along with that, if you're going to move somewhere else, go PCS to Paradise, and they'd be more than sure to help you with that. So be sure and scan that, and please support all of our sponsors because it does allow us to continue our mission with what we're doing and trying to reduce veteran suicide, and just make sure that everybody, whether you're in the service or not, is just as mentally healthy as you can be. And with that, Lynn, you want to talk about this nice shirt I got on today?
I do. But before I talk about that, I want to just touch on
Oh,
Irreverent
go ahead.
Warriors.
Oh, yeah, Reverend Warrior.
If
Tell us all
you
about it.
haven't had a chance to meet up with some awesome veterans, we have Puerto Rico coming up. So I think that's the first weekend of February. So if you're in Puerto Rico, come on out. And then we have South Florida, which is in Fort Lauderdale, and that is going to be like February 14th, like the weekend of Valentine's Day. So that's President's Day weekend.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. If you want to come get some sunny weather, get out of the cold for a bit. I know the rest of America is being chilly. Come on down to Florida. Also, I want to just send some prayers to everyone in California being affected by the fires. It's very
Yeah, we
devastating.
talked about that earlier.
Sucks
Yep.
so
When you were
bad.
off. Yep.
But if you want to get away from the fires, come to Florida for the egg. With that said, check out our website, www.VeteranTrashTalk.com. You can get that awesome shirt that Cliff is wearing. It's Quit Being a Triggered Pansy. It's one of our best-selling shirts. And then you can check out all of our podcasts on there in our About Us. Not only that, check us out on Facebook and all of the other social media outlets. Hopefully TikTok is still around. I love TikTok. But
Well,
you can find
Elon
us.
Musk is talking about buying it, right? They're talking about
Oh,
selling it to Elon
yeah,
Musk.
I've
Did
heard
you
that.
see that? Yeah.
But you can find us, Veteran Trash Talk. We're on all of the social media platforms.
Yep. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. You guys have a great and wonderful week. And just remember, like always says, that we are our brothers and sisters' keeper. It is January. Let's look out for each other. And hey, if you got that veteran that lives next door or somebody that you normally see out, just take a second to buy them a drink or maybe say hi to them or just listen to them, because I guarantee you're going to get one of the best stories you ever heard in your life. Hey, but with that, everybody have a great week and take care. And Bull says, keep rolling on.